Hello, dear students. I, Mrs. Rajashri Naik, welcomes you again in online lecture series arranged by Gokhale Education Society's BYK College of Commerce, Nasik. In the last online lecture, that is in 3.3, we have gone through exceptions to the law of DMU and expected questions on the same. Today, in this online lecture, we will study the next part of the chapter number 2. So in this lecture, we are going to study about criticism of the law and significance of the law. Now, the criticism of the law. The law of diminishing marginal utility is criticized on the following grounds. In spite of the fact that the law of DMU is a landmark contribution of Alfred Marshall, it has a number of limitations. Due to these limitations, the law has been subjected to criticism by the contemporary economists. So, let us see the first criticism. The first criticism is unrealistic assumptions. The law of diminishing marginal utility is based upon various assumptions. The law is conditional. It is based on too many assumptions like homogeneity, means all the commodities are exactly same to one another, means same in size, shape, color, taste, etc. Continuity means no time interval. Constancy means no change in taste, habits, preferences of the consumer, and rationality, etc. But in reality, it is difficult to fulfill these conditions at a point of time. For example, rationality assumption. In the law of DMU, it is assumed that a consumer is rational and he is in a position to measure utility received from every unit he has consumed in terms of units, and he is able to report it too. But in reality, it is not possible. Hence, it has a limited scope or applicability. Now, the next criticism is cardinal measurement. The law assumes that utility can be expressed cardinally. So, it can be added, compared, and presented through a schedule. Already we studied the schedule. The schedule is in the form of table which contains units of commodity, total utility, and marginal utility. The table shows the relationship between TU and MU, and which is expressed in numbers, or we can say which is expressed in cardinally. In reality, cardinal measurement of utility is not possible because utility is a psychological concept. It can be measured ordinally, that is higher utility or lower utility. Thus, it is unrealistic to assume any cardinal measurement of utility. Okay, so the next criticism is indivisible goods. The law is not applicable to indivisible and bulky goods like refrigerator, car, TV sets, etc., and which are normally purchased in single unit at a time. The law of DMU assumes that the commodity consumed is divisible. This is because divisibility would enable the consumer to acquire the commodity for the quick consumption. However, there are certain products which cannot be easily divisible, which cannot be purchased in parts, which cannot be purchased in various units. These products or goods are purchased in single unit at a time. The next criticism is constant marginal utility of money. The law assumes that MU of each unit of money remains constant. However, critics argue that MU of money differs from person to person. It is influenced by changes in prices, stock of money, economic class of the consumer, means income level of the consumer, inflation rate, etc. The law unrealistically assumes constant MU of money, but marginal utility of money never remains constant. Hence, it may affect consumers' preferences. Now, the last criticism is a single want. The law is restricted to the satisfaction of a single want at a point of time. However, in reality, a man has to satisfy many wants at a point of time. The law of DMU is a single commodity model. The law of DMU is a single commodity model. Marginal utility of each commodity is measured independently and separately. In reality, however, a consumer buys a number of commodities, and in order to decide how much of each commodity he should buy, and he will have to consider the relative marginal utilities and prices of all the commodities. Moreover, utilities of different goods such as complementary products or substitutes are interdependent. However, there are certain products such as electricity, water, milk, etc., which have multi-purpose uses. That is, such products can satisfy multiple wants. Now about significance of the law of DMU. In spite of the criticisms, the law of diminishing marginal utility is a very popular and an important law in economics because of its universal application. So the first significance is usefulness to the consumers. This law creates awareness among the consumers to obtain maximum utility from the limited resources. It is necessary to diversify the consumption. Means the consumers can gain the knowledge about how to use limited resources properly to obtain maximum utility. The law of DMU can help a person in his purchases. A person can come to know when he can attain maximum satisfaction. So he can plan his purchases accordingly and optimize the use of his income. Now, the next significance is useful to the government. The law is useful to the government in framing various policies such as progressive tax policy, trade policy, pricing policy, etc. The law of DMU can help the government to raise public finance. The law of DMU can help the government to raise public finance. For instance, it can help the government to generate more funds by charging more tax on the rich class people. In general, as income increases, the marginal utility of income diminishes. So, the government can charge higher tax to the higher income groups and lower tax to the lower income groups. So, this policy is known as progressive tax policy. Okay, and the indirect taxes such as excise duty can be more on the goods enjoyed by the rich. The law of DMU can help the government to frame trade policy. Now, what do you mean by trade policy? The foreign trade policy is essentially a set of guidelines for the import and export of goods and services. The foreign trade policy is essentially a set of guidelines for the import and export of goods and services. These are established by the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, DGFT, the governing body for the promotion and facilitation of exports and imports under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Law of DMU also helped the government to frame the price policy, or we can say the pricing policy. Generally, pricing policy refers to how a company sets the prices of its products and services based on cost, value, demand, and competition. The main objective of the price policy in India was to protect the interest of the consumers. So this way, the government not only generates public finance, but also tries to reduce inequalities of income between the rich and the poor. Most important line. This way, the government not only generates public finance, but also tries to reduce inequalities of income between the rich and the poor. Okay. Now the next significance is basis of paradox of values. The law of diminishing marginal utility helps us to understand the paradox of values. The law of DMU helps to understand the paradox of value. The paradox of value indicates the difference between value in use and value in exchange. The paradox of value indicates the difference between value in use and value in exchange. Okay, so value in use refers to the usefulness of a product. Value in use refers to the usefulness of a product. And value in exchange refers to the value rate of one commodity in terms of another. Value in exchange refers to the value rate of one commodity in terms of another. Some commodities such as water, salt, etc. have high value in use but low exchange value, such as air, water, sunshine, etc. And some commodities such as precious metals, diamonds, etc. have low value in use but high exchange value due to its scarcity. So higher total utility determines greater value in use, and higher marginal utility denotes greater value in exchange of commodity. Okay, what I said, higher total utility determines greater value in use, and higher marginal utility denotes greater value in exchange of a commodity. Now, the next significance is basis of law of demand. The law of demand is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. According to the law of demand, the quantity demanded of a good rises with a fall in price and falls with an increase in price. According to the law of demand, the quantity demanded of a good rises with a fall in price and falls with an increase in price. Okay, see the pic. As price goes up, quantity demanded goes down, and as price goes down, quantity demanded goes up. So thus, there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. There is inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded. When a consumer purchases more and more units of good, its marginal utility steadily declines. Hence, he would buy additional units of commodity only at a low price. Thus, we can conclude that the law of diminishing marginal utility is universal and occupies important place in history of economic literature. Now, the last part of this lecture, expected questions on the above content. Answer the following. First question, explain the criticism points of the law of DMU. And second question, explain the significance of the law of DMU. So students, in today's lecture, we have covered criticism and significance of the law of DMU and expected questions on the same. In the next online lecture, we will go with remaining part of the chapter. Till then, have a great time. Thank you.